Hey, this is Chris Buono, and this is Street Smarts, brought to you by Bog Street. Today's conversation is about string skipping. Now, what you just heard me play is something where I used this pick. This is called Scales. It's 1.5 millimeter and it has a rubberized grip in the middle. That grip allows me to keep, well, a good grip on the pick, and that's an important thing with a technique like string skipping. I tend to dig in more. It's a very taxing technique to play with my left hand, and it translates to my whole body, and I just feel like I'm fighting the good fight. So I want to be able to know that I'm going to be able to hold on to a pick as I'm hanging on for dear life. Now, what was I playing and what the heck is string skipping? String skipping is what it sounds like. I'm skipping over strings. As you saw me play, I started on the high E string and I played this. Now what I'm doing is playing a sequence of 3 notes per string, starting with a high note and going down a whole step and then a step and a half, 2 frets and 3 frets. Then I jump over the next adjacent string, which is the 2nd string, and I go down to the G string, the 3rd string, and I start on the same fret with the same finger, the 4th finger, and then I play the inverse of what I just said. It's step and a half, whole step. Then I skip over the 4th string, go to the 5th string, and play the original sequence, whole step, half step. And what I did was I played it there, moved it up, and moved it down, surrounding it. So I went from A minor up to B flat minor, and then down to A flat minor. And then, of course, I went back. I did some legato moves within there. I did some picking moves within there, but I stayed within those zones, and I never touched those strings that were not within that sequence. So I was consistently string skipping. It's super fun, and it also makes you sound like you're doing something even harder than it already is. And that is, I sound like I'm playing these wide intervals because I am, but I'm not doing them in a way where they would be played 1 note per string or in some other way that would make them harder. In this case, I get to play some stuff that I feel is more comfortable to play, despite the alternatives out there that I find harder to play. So with legato or alternate picking, whatever the case may be, I was just making my way across the strings, yet skipping the strings. Now that was with straight alternate picking, as we've talked up here in Street Smarts. You can also just do it with legato. So I'm just going to play 1 downstroke for each one of these and do hammer-ons, or roll it with rolling legato and bring it down with all pull-offs. Whatever the case may be, I'm still not making contact with those strings. I'm still skipping over the strings, providing that wide intervallic sound. At the end, I simply just stayed on the 4th and 2nd strings and just came up with some 6ths. Now, towards the end, I switched gears. I got out of the arpeggio thing, I got out of 3 strings and went to just 2 strings and played in a different manner. I was playing the interval of 6 with the natural minor and harmonic minor sounds. But the string skipping is what made them feel like this. As opposed to me putting them on adjacent strings, which would have looked something like this. See what I mean? Things get a little complicated, and also it just didn't feel as comfortable to do. So I used my pick on the lower string, and I used my middle finger, or P2 in hybrid picking language, to me, on the higher string. And with the string skip, it afforded me just to finger it like this, as opposed to this, and make easy movements like this, instead of fumbling around like this. Yeah. String skipping. If you're looking for ways to work on your string skipping or just get started with it, check out my TrueFire course in my Guitar Gym series called String Skipping. You'll find 27 workouts that will start you from the very beginning of that technique and bring you through some medium to advanced level approaches. You can find that on my website, chrisbuono.com, or at truefire.com. This is Chris Buono for Bog Street, and this is Street Smarts. See you on the next one.